Big fan of your play, both with the Giants. I'm a huge Patriots fan. I'm not gonna lie. So I was psyched when you got to the Patriots. So
Appreciate it.
um, tell me a little bit about this campaign. Tell me a little bit about the lemonade stand yesterday, I guess.
Yeah, I can tell you that it was very cold. I'll tell you that. You know, it was probably like, I don't know, ballpark, but it was probably 10 degrees. It felt like it was negative, but it was a lot of fun. Set up a lemonade stand, had some freelancers that were walking through Patriot Place and got them to get some free lemonade. It's a pretty it's a pretty crappy deal, if you will. I don't, do you play fantasy?
I do. Yeah,
This was
been
actually
playing forever.
this is actually my first year playing fantasy, so I kind of understand why everybody goes crazy about it. I don't know if haven't paid in the past just because I play or whatever it is, but I did not win, but I did not come in last. Our loser had to do something a little bit different, but I'm sure this kid's friends had got a kick out of it knowing that he was going to be doing this in probably 5-degree weather outdoors in the snow selling lemonade. So
He
that's
got
very
the last
unfortunate.
laugh doing it with
Listen, he
Tommy
got
DeVito, though.
for sure, for sure. But I mean, it all ties back into the progressive deal and everything kind of that we've done leading up to this point. You mentioned the commercial, and I think that it kind of ties into, myself and how my career has been thus far. Like just being an undrafted, being the three in it and then going into starting games and every year you see how important the quarterback position is and when teams have guys go down and then you see who is serviceable, who is not, depending on what the situations are. And I think that progressive really tied into that for me because, you need to have good coverage. Something happens somewhere in some way, shape, or form. You don't want to have something that you can't or someone that you cannot you know, trust in and want to be the exact person to take over that role. So I think that progressive as a whole, honestly, like just ties into, like I said, how my career has been, being able to go in and execute, do what I need to do. And that's kind of how that was so far.
I have loved all of the backup commercials, but your photo shoot commercial was
I was gonna say,
fantastic.
yeah, that was the best one. I know it was. You can let them know too.
There's no doubt. I mean, Hundley was great. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater, that was great as well. But I mean, your look in the photo shoot was just like classic.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it was a good time. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing that whole thing and obviously seeing the finished product was even better.
Uh, Tell me a little bit in terms of how you and the Patriots came together.
Yeah. Long story short, I got a phone call saying we are going to New England. That's from my agent Sean. Actually, that's a lie. Dayball called me first and was like, I don't even know what kind of language I can use on here, but I'm not going to use it. But it was some pretty fiery words that he was not happy, but he
Some
was happy.
salty, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He was like, congrats. Said it just like that. I was like, what are we talking about? I was like, you must know something that I don't. He was like, they'll call you in a minute. Goodbye. And then hung up the phone, and my agent called me, and then obviously me and Dave's talked again. But Dave's my guy,
Did they figure
happy
you
for
in a
him.
clear waivers?
They did not think so, but they were selfishly praying for it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they were hoping I didn't because I have a really good relationship with all of them. Actually got off the phone with Dave's a little while ago, congratulating him on that Tennessee OC job. I was close with all those guys, but yeah, got a call from my agent. Obviously, he's from up this way, up in Boston. He was like, TD, you're coming to Boston. And then that's kind of how that was. And yeah, so it's been a lot of fun thus far. I think it's worked out.
What has it been like for you to just be part of this quarterback room and just see this evolution throughout the year? Like you said, 2 and 3 is as important as it's ever been in the league now. So I got to imagine that quarterback room was wild throughout the season.
No doubt. I mean, obviously, because I didn't get to go through OTAs or training camp. So my first look at the team, besides, the last preseason game, which I know it's preseason and certain people are playing and whatever it is, but my first look at the team was really the first game. And a little bit of me was like, here we go again, you know? And then you just saw the evolution of not only Drake, but the rest of the team and starting to believe in themselves. Because it's a very young team. I don't know what it stacks up against the rest of the NFL, but there are so many rookies and first or second year guys that are playing on this team that haven't tasted winning in the NFL. And I think there's a lot of vets that are in the same boat. There's only been, I think the number is two. I could be wrong, but I think there's only two people on our team that ever been to the Super Bowl, and that was Mac Hollins, his rookie year, never been back since. Um, and it just goes to show how to not take this for granted. The evolution of the Drake getting better from week one to week whatever the heck we're in now, has been impressive to see, his knowledge of not only the game but the offense. And I give kudos to Josh because his offense is legit and asks for a lot. But if you're able to handle that, you see how well Drake is playing and the offense is clicking. I hope long now. This week we don't have to play in 10 or 15-degree weather with snowstorms. So I think we'll be all right. And yeah, it's been really fun to be a part of. And Vrabes is one of the best I've been around, if not the best. And has a really great personality. And I think that the team has bought into him. And I think that's all the difference.
I mean, how do you buy in to that when you've got a team that's gone 4-13? I mean, listen, I'm a huge Patriots fan. I've said it, but I mean, like they were 4-13. So to even imagine us at this spot right now is insane.
Yeah, I wish I can give you the answer for that, but I can't. But I can't honestly because I think all of that happened throughout OTAs and training camp. I think that's when, I, I kind of figured it out really early within the first couple of days as to how he was. That was my first time ever being around Braves. You have such respect for someone like that who has like been there, done it, played the positions, played Super Bowls, like literally done it all as a player and is able to like be your boy and talk to you a certain way, but like has that switch that flips that like he means business. Like he's able to be cool and hang out with you and all as long as you're handling your business on the field and doing all that. So I think there's a really fine line. I think some guys get too like tense around him because he's a very, like stern, like strict guy that he'll crack a joke and some people will be like, and he'll be like, relax, I'm joking. It's like, but he has a really good balance, the best I've been around having that balance. And I think that that's really important.
How how do you and Josh? I mean, Josh been in the league forever. I mean, you're a veteran at this point. I mean, how have you guys um, contributed in terms of just making sure the moment's not too big for Drake and the rest of the team? Quite honestly,
I just want to clarify, you're talking about Dobbs, correct?
yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, Dobbs has been to however many different teams he's been to and been thrown into, as many roles as I have in crazy situations. So to be able to take that experience and just, help him out from time to time, knowing when talking too much or giving someone too much information or like, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. We've been around enough different quarterbacks. I mean, I've only my third year in the league and probably my 10th, 11th quarterback working together with, right? So you have to learn how people interact, and how much information they could take, like on a practice day versus a game day, and how people, because everybody's different. Some people are very quiet, even though they can be playing at a high level. Some people are very quiet on game day, some people are loud, like there's a big difference. So being able to learn that, and then me and Josh just, giving any input we can at any point because, we've been back there before. It's a little different when coaches coach you because they've never been back there and seeing things the same way. So helping either way we can. So it's been good.
How has this journey been for you, Tommy? I mean, to go from the roller coaster you were at Syracuse, then go to Illinois, have the big year in Illinois, undrafted free agent coming off of the draft, and now you're going to be in the Super Bowl. I mean, what has this journey been like for you?
It's been a roller coaster. It's definitely been a roller coaster, but for the best. Everybody has a different journey, a different path to where they want to get to. And I wouldn't change anything that's happened with mine because I think that, adversity is part of the game. It's part of football. It's what makes football the best sport in the world. And you have to be able to go through all that, which is why I think like, for our season, like some of the losses that we had, I think looking back on it, they were very important. I had a similar loss, not to obviously to compare it, but in college at Illinois, like we lost our, I think it was the second or third game of the season. We lost to Indiana. We were supposed to beat them by whatever the heck we were supposed to beat them by.
This is
And
pre-Signetti, Indiana.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. For sure. Yeah, it's a different animal right now. But we lost that game and it was like a reawakening. Like teams are not going to roll over for you, you know, and I think that that kind of reminds me of honestly the Buffalo game, like the second one. As much as obviously you want to win that game, I almost think for some reasons it might have been good to like open everybody's eyes and like realize that winning is not just going to happen just because of the New England Patriots and the track record that the organization has had in the past, and that you have to go out and you have to play all 60 minutes until, and even more, until that clock hits zero to be able to win these games. Because again, it's not easy to win in the NFL, and I think that the way that we've done it this year, especially on the road, has helped us a lot.
I mean, I told all my friends that when that role was happening. I not that I wanted y'all to lose, but it's like, I almost wanted to get that loss out of the way before the playoffs, so
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you
no, for
kind of
sure. I mean,
reset it. I've been covering the NFL for 30 years now, so I've kind of like you, I've seen the ups and downs, and you almost want to recalibrate a little bit there, right?
yeah, the playoffs are all about getting hot at the right time. And, you know, even the back end of the season before the playoffs, like when our team's starting to hit their strides. And I think that that like helped us like get our feet back under us and like keep us going to now hit this peak coming into this next week.
I mean, this has been an insane couple of games. In terms, not no offensive highs, incredible defensive lows, some crazy stats in terms of like the Pats lowest points allowed. Coming into the Super Bowl. Where's the team's head at? Where's the team's head at heading out to Santa Clara?
I think that we know we're going to be in a little bit of some better weather.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be a little
that
bit of a
helps.
difference as well. I think it's going to help certainly. But you know, I'm a firm believer, and I've been like this since I was young, that defense wins championships. You know, like when you have a defense that's performing at that level, it's special. And you know, offensively, like we talked about, it doesn't matter what the stats are. It doesn't matter if Drake throws for 800 yards or 100 yards. All that matters at the end of that game is being 1 and 0. And that's what we're chasing, no matter how we get to it, whether that's against the Chargers and we have to score however many we have to score, or we're playing against the Texans with the quote unquote number one defense in the NFL, who have however many turnovers every game, and figuring out a way to just to win that game, playing in 10-degree weather or going to Denver in a hostile environment and playing in the snow and just finding a way to pull it out in the end. No matter what it is, all about getting that win. You don't care what it is. You are going to the Super Bowl, and we are focused on winning this game.
I got a question for you. We do a draft podcast as well, and I know undrafted free agent, but I just wanted to kind of get your take, your advice. Not everybody's going to get drafted coming out of the draft. What's your advice to those undrafted free agents in terms of how to maneuver the process?
Yeah, I mean, you can't believe everything everybody's going to sell you. You know, your agent is going to tell you that you're going to get drafted in the second round. I'm not saying that
Sure,
this
sure.
happened to me, but like this just how it goes. Like, he's like, okay, you're going to get taken in the second round. And like, what happens if you don't? If people start to panic, what happened? Is that the other thing? Like, you never know. It happens every year. Like, I hate to talk about him like this, but like, I've known Shador for a long time. Like, I played in the high school All-American game coming out of high school, and Coach Prime was my head coach. So Shador was always running around the fields with us when he was super young. So I met him at that time. We kind of known each other throughout the whole process coming up. But like, he was written or solidified as a day one guy for sure. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you fall to whatever fifth round or whatever he fell to. Like
Yep.
everybody and
And
their
all of a
mothers is
sudden,
telling
that's what
him
the
that he's
league
first
thinks of
one.
you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what the league thinks of you. You know, the league is a brutal animal. Draft day, I would just enjoy it with your fam. First day, I forget what I was doing. I think I was playing golf with my agent or something on the first day, and we were hanging out second day. Third day comes around, we're like, all right, let's see. You know, try not to get your hopes or expectations up because you know, like, okay, you're a late round guy. They'll, you know, people are like, okay, we have a high interest, but like, you're never really gonna know until it happens. But again, all you need is an opportunity. I mean, I've done it multiple times. Just I always bet on myself. That's what it is. That's what it always comes down to. Even when I went to Illinois, it was like, you're not going to get handed this job. There's been a guy there who I've personally known for 10, 15 years before that, a quarterback there, Art Sitowski, who was one of my guys, and he was starting there coming off an injury, and they were like, it's going to be an open competition. I'm like, that's all I need to know. And that's just, that's how I am. And I think that's how everybody should be. All you need is an opportunity. It doesn't matter whether you were in the first round, the sixth round, whatever it is. As long as you have that opportunity, you go out and play and let everything else fall how it should.
Two more quick questions. I know we're on a schedule here, and I really appreciate it. Um, Patriots wanted you ahead of this. They wanted you a couple of years ago. Um, it's happened now. I know you're unrestricted after the season. I don't really. It's like 1 week at a time here, but how's the fit been? I mean, do you see yourself there long term?
I do, honestly. I had a conversation with, Josh McDaniels when the first day I got there, kind of talked about what he envisioned for myself this year and the growth that I was gonna, make mentally, just learning about more about defenses, not only about this offense, because like I said, this offense asks a lot. It asks a lot more than I was asked to do in the past. And I think that it brings a new perspective to the position and the way that certain teams like to have it played, like Josh does. So I've definitely learned a lot throughout my time here. A lot of X's and O's, a lot about this offense and how certain pieces move compared to others, which I think is a great tool to have. The more experience and different things you have, the better, especially in all offenses, because some offenses allow you to do certain things that others don't. And my time here has been great. I got really close with a lot of the guys. Love the area. It's not too far from home. I love the East Coast. That's my jam. I'm a Northeast guy, so
Yeah.
we'll see how it shakes out. Obviously, I love being here. I love being in the area. Obviously, this year has been remarkable to say the least. Got one more opportunity to put the cherry on top for it, but all is good over here.
I'm in South Carolina now, but I'm a Maine guy originally. I grew up in Maine and went to school at Fordham in New York. So
Oh,
I'm
there you
I'm
go.
I'm an East Coast guy. I'm a New England guy. Now Patriots Nation, you're part of Patriots Nation now. So I got to ask you this. You probably heard about the Belichick Hall of Fame snub. Any thoughts on that, just in terms of how that could possibly be?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how all that voting works, but I'm gonna leave it at this. 6 rings is 6 rings. I don't know what else needs to be said for it or however all that works, but 6 rings is pretty good to me.
You're going to be pretty excited to have one. I hope.
That's it. That's
Hopefully a
it.
couple weeks here.
That is the plan.